Well, we begin tonight with a somewhat unusual suggestion for the Friday night before the Super Bowl. Don't watch the game. You heard me. In fact, I have 10 good reasons you should not watch the Super Bowl. Number one, Super Bowl, that's a brand name. History tells us it simply will not be a super game. Yes, 5 of the last 6 have been decided by 2 field goals or less, but even with that, the first 47 Super Bowls have been won by an average of 2 touchdowns. Only 18 Super Bowls have been decided by less than 10 points. 11 have been decided by 20 or more. Only 1 has been decided by less than a field goal. Watch the highlights. You probably won't have missed much live. Reason number 2 to not watch the Super Bowl, if you build up the ratings, that just gives them more of a reason to do this cold weather venue jazz again, maybe even again at the Meadowlands. As a native and 40-year resident of this town, I'm asking you nice. Don't ever come back here again. They wrecked traffic, gave reporters police escorts. They took one of America's foremost tourist destinations, Times Square, out here, basically closed it, replaced it with their idea of a tourist destination with tents and cheesy rides and photo booths. In short, they installed a county fair in Times Square. Do you love your town? Do not let this happen to you. Reason number 3 to not watch the Super Bowl, halftime. The act is Bruno Mars. He seems pleasant enough and talented, although he appears to have stolen the hair of Little Richard. But this is the list of halftime headliners since 1998. See if you notice where it all goes horribly, horribly wrong. Smokey Robinson, Stevie Wonder, Phil Collins, Aerosmith with Britney Spears, U2, Sting, Janet Jackson, Justin Timberlake, and a wardrobe malfunction, Paul McCartney, the Rolling Stones, Prince, Tom Petty, Bruce Springsteen, The Who, the Black Eyed Peas, Madonna, Beyonce, Bruno Mars. You're not going to miss anything. If he gets hit with a boom mic or something, it'll be in all the papers. Reason number 4, the commercials. Wait, you exclaim, I love the commercials. Exactly. You're not supposed to love commercials. Commercials are there to separate you from your money. I would argue that you remember more Super Bowl commercials and more about them than you remember Super Bowl games. No? Test it right now. Close your eyes. If I say Budweiser frogs, what do you see? Yep, you were right.
Budweiser.
Great. Now tell me something about the game they showed to fill the time before and after the frogs. Exactly. Nothing. Well, it was Super Bowl 29. The 49ers won 49-26 behind Steve Young, and the Chargers quarterback was Stan Humphries? Might as well have been one of the frogs. Stop participating in the commercials. You're being brainwashed. Reason number 5 to not watch the Super Bowl, your significant other may break up with you during the game. All right, this is very specific to just a few viewers, but it did happen. Christina Aguilera, 2011, while she was singing the anthem, her boyfriend, Jordan Bratman, was moving out of their home. She butchered the lyrics to such a degree that she had to issue a statement of apology to the media. If the Super Bowl can do it to Christina Aguilera, who among us mere mortals is safe? Reason number 6 not to watch, don't become part of an urban legend. You know how all sewer systems are put at risk by the halftime flush-a-thon, or how this is the weekend the avocado growers move all their product, or how Disneyland and Disney World become ghost towns? Lies, lies, lies. The theme parks are less busy than the average January day, but not by much. Cinco de Mayo is when the most avocados are sold, and the destruction laying in wait from every toilet at halftime, that's nonsense. There was one water main break on Super Bowl Sunday 30 years ago, and nothing to support the claim that it had anything to do with flushing. Not a drop of evidence. Reason number 7 to not watch the Super Bowl, puppies, and now fish and kittens. The mindless counter-programming is better than ever. Nat Geo Wild answers the Puppy Bowl with the Fish Bowl. Yes, a goldfish all day long. But how can you eat until you burst and drink heavily as you would during the Super Bowl while watching Hallmark Channel's new Kitten Bowl? Well, John Sterling of the Yankees is doing the play-by-play. If you can't devise a drinking game based on, it is high, it is fur, I'm ashamed to know you. Reason number 8, Benedict Cumberbatch. See, the other TV networks have stopped giving up. For decades, nobody dared to put on anything new, let alone a good rerun against the Super Bowl broadcast. But in 2011, despite the Packers-Steelers squeaker, the 5th episode of the PBS program Downton Abbey experienced an unexpected increased tune-in, and one TV analyst believes that established the series in this country. PBS is again putting Downton up against the game, though I'd say skip it. The plot has jumped the shark. They just keep killing off the actors. On the other hand, PBS is also showing a new edition of Sherlock with Benedict Cumberbatch and Martin Freeman on Sunday, and this is as good an adaptation of Holmes as there's ever been. Which brings us to reason number 9 not to watch the Super Bowl: majority rule. That's right. For all the chest thumping at the amazingly large worldwide TV audience, here is the stark reality, courtesy of the Nielsen Company. Super Bowl 47 was viewed in just under 53 million American homes last year, but there are an estimated 114,200,000 TV homes in the U.S. That means more than 61 million American homes weren't watching the Super Bowl. That's 53.5%. Join us. Which slides us smoothly into the 10th and final reason not to watch the Super Bowl on Sunday. Look at our spectacular schedules here on your family of ESPN networks. World Series of Poker, Sports Center, 30 for 30, the 30 for 30 shorts. The 30 for 30 shorts, including Holy Grail, the T206 Hannes Wagner, featuring, you know, me? You betcha. How can you watch the Super Bowl? Hannes Wagner and I are on against it. Okay, how about maybe you could just DVR us? But tonight we begin with this message to the Super Bowl organizing committee, the Denver Broncos, the Seattle Seahawks, the media, the league and team officials, the visitors, and even the passersby, on behalf of the citizens of New Jersey and Greater New York, expressed in the context of the conclusion of the annual Media Day fiasco, expressed by a native and 40-year citizen of this city. And the message is this: get out. Take the game and the tents in Times Square and the disrupted traffic patterns and the 13 blocks of cordoned-off streets and Marshawn Lynch and Radio Row and get out. But mostly, take the police escort and get out. Have a police escort while you're getting out, but get out. Oh yes, police escort. From TV sports columnist Neil Best of Newsday, this tweet: nothing that happens at Super Bowl week or in life will top police escort from Newark to Manhattan. Police escort for the media, to and from Media Day, all day. Because you wouldn't want the media to be delayed at all getting to an event at which nothing happened for the 46th consecutive year, then getting back to report that nothing had happened for the 46th consecutive year. Oh, and also enabling the media to tweet images of the completely irrational, unjustifiable, costly police escorts, shutting down lanes of traffic, delaying school buses and ordinary people and maybe an ambulance or two. You know, more or less doing the same thing that when a governor's office did it, they fired 2 staffers and 2 others quit, and 2 committees and a criminal investigation were launched. Get out. Even on the NFL's own website, media members staying in New York this week, this includes me, got a police escort to Jersey City. When we pulled up to the team hotel, I actually saw a father and son sprinting toward us. Imagine their disappointment when the doors opened and we rolled out. Or the disappointment of somebody, you know, waiting for an organ transplant, only to find out it was delayed because of the police escort for the Media Day crew from the website The Onion. I can't blame the reporters. In 2011, I, along with several other ticket holders, went from Yankee Stadium to Citi Field during Friday night rush hour traffic in 14 minutes. A police escort for Yankee staff and ticket holders. Thrilling. Lanes on the Triborough Bridge closed just for you. Fantastic. But who approved it? Why did I need a police escort? I could have taken the subway. And who approved this nonsense today? They should be fired and expelled from our nation. I'm being too hard? What if you found out that this kind of nonsensical perk had been provided for an athlete? Oh, you've forgotten already, haven't you? Oh, LeBron.
Light police escort on the wrong side of the street. Right. Headed to the big homie concert, JT. Holla.
LeBron James last August in Miami getting a special ad hoc police escort, as he proudly noted, on the wrong side of the street so he wouldn't be late for the Justin Timberlake concert. Did he get grief for that? Yes, they wanted to put his reputation in a box. And they were only escorting him from one part of the parking lot to another. This wasn't somebody escorting bus after bus of unkempt, derelict, useless, fungible, utterly interchangeable reporters the 12 miles from the media center in Newark to Midtown Manhattan, hour after hour after hour, day after day after day. Compared to that, that Miami policeman simply held LeBron's hand and walked him across the street. One street. And for what? There have been Super Bowl media days every year since 1969, and I defy you to locate one important portion of game-related truth that has ever escaped at any time from anybody on any team in any one of them. Joe Namath's guarantee of a Jets victory? No. That happened after media day. He had slept through media day. He missed media day. He didn't even say it the day after media day, not at the hotel. He said it 2 days later, getting a Player of the Year award without a police escort. I mean, what was the media day story today? What did all of that produce? Marshawn Lynch stayed for 8 minutes. Not only that, but he swore on live television, and something worse happened after that.
How you doing, big fella?
Smooth.
You look good.
You do too.
You all right?
Man, I'm smooth.
I like when you got off the plane with the beast mode and everything. It look like you're ready to play, man.
Yep, that's what time it is.
You kind of shy.
Nah,
You just don't want to talk, really.
I'm just about that action, boss.
You ready to go get it. You just like to do it.
That's what it is. I ain't never seen no talking with me nothing.
Yeah.
Yep. Been like that since I was little. Was raised like that.
Well, I respect it.
Yep.
It's going to be a
Want
good
something, you go get it. Ain't no need to talk about it.
Sanders interrupted him. Marshawn Lynch is finally giving him something more than a one-word answer, and Sanders interrupted him. Twice. Deion Sanders got a police escort. Get out. Not substantial enough for you? How about the question to Richard Sherman?
All of you football guys is going into the strip clubs and raining down on these strippers. I think that's a bad example for our young ladies. How can we stop that?
She got a police escort. Get out. Michael Bennett of the Seahawks was asked about the relative odoriferousness of locker room flatulence. The guy who asked him that got a police escort. Get out. Nate Davis of USA Today tweets, Peyton asked if he'd be on Saturday Night Live this week, the night before the Super Bowl. The guy who asked that, police escort. Get out.
1 second, people. I want to take a picture of you guys, too.
All of these people, while New Jersey waited, stuck in traffic, the blur of half-empty buses whizzing past, while New York waited, businesses delayed, reunions deferred, puppies and kittens kept shivering in underheated cars. All of these people got police escorts. Get out! But we begin tonight with the final analysis of Super Bowl 48, which was, of course, postponed so that they could instead pit the extraordinarily well-balanced and dominant Seattle Seahawks against a flag football team dressed up to look vaguely like the Denver Broncos. Friday night here, I gave you 10 reasons not to watch this game. I am not going to say I told you so. I'm just going to say, I told you, but you didn't believe me. Why didn't you believe me? Because if you had, you wouldn't have watched, or worse yet, gone. In which case, if you went, welcome back, since you're just now getting off that New Jersey Transit train from the Meadowlands. Either way, you would have not have had this immense sense of frustration since last night, unless you're a Seahawks fan, or unless you made $11 billion betting a parlay of a safety on the first play from scrimmage and Joe Namath screwing up the coin toss. Anyway, reason number one, I said it wouldn't be a good game. I said the average margin of victory was 2 touchdowns in Super Bowls. I said that 11 Super Bowls have been decided by 20 points or more. And if that was not enough, one of my guests was far more specific.
I think they can do it. Don't you, Keith? Aren't you rooting for them? Don't you think they have the advantage? Right, Keith? Just say it on the air, Keith. Just say it.
Yeah.
I, Keith Olbermann, I think the Seahawks will win by 25 points. This is the time, Keith. This is the time. I hope.
By 25 points. What's the...
No, it's going to actually, for me, it's more. I was just being, conservative.
What more did you want? A copy of the box score out of the updated edition of Gray's Sports Almanac from Back to the Future Part 2? My second reason not to watch, if the ratings were good, they'll try this cold weather big city nonsense again. You think I'm wrong? Explain your reasons to them, not to me. Ask the fans stuck in endless security lines in Secaucus, New Jersey on the way to the game, then some of them stuck in other lines in the same place for 2 hours waiting for trains on the way back. Do you have any idea what it's like to be stuck in Secaucus, New Jersey? I was stuck in Secaucus, New Jersey for 5 years. And by the way, what a great job all that security did, huh?
You never think about being MVP.
Investigate 9/11. 9/11 was perpetrated by people within our own government.
All right.
All right. That was Matthew Mills, the guy who took over the interview podium at the Super Bowl, even though he didn't have a media credential or even a ticket to the game. He said he got in by walking onto an employee-only bus, flashing a press pass from an old music festival he went to at the stadium entrance, and then just telling every security agent he saw that he was running late for work and just had to get in there. Your 32-minute round trip to the Super Bowl turned into a walk to the North Pole so they could keep him out. Except they didn't. Security. Reason number 3 was halftime. The Michael Jackson impersonator was really good. Although his other impression, Sting, a little flat. Pleasant, talented, energetic, like I said. But was there a vote? Did we abandon classic rock for pop at some point? Blondie, Pink Floyd, Stevie Nicks, Black Sabbath, Van Halen, Bon Jovi. I'll take Thunderclap Newman. Heck, I'll settle for Sir Mix-a-Lot. Reason number 4 was the commercials. The commercials have jumped the shark. I have to watch not 1, but 2 plays of a spot that invokes bull semen. Seriously? The annual Budweiser ripoff of Old Yeller or March of the Penguins or whatever. If they spent as much money on making their beer taste good as they do on the Super Bowl commercials, America would be a happier place. Reason 5 was the Christina Aguilera thing, how you could get dumped during the game. Thought I was kidding about that too, huh? Matt Harvey of the Mets broke up with his Russian model girlfriend yesterday. You remember the one whose nose he was picking at the hockey game? Her name is Ann V. Us Weekly reported the breakup 3 hours before kickoff. You can't pick your family, but you can. Reason number 6 not to watch was don't become part of an urban legend. You know, like how after any win, any American group will shed its individual identities and responsibilities and riot. Police required about 90 minutes to disperse thousands of pyromaniacal University of Washington students who celebrated by burning couches at the corner of 47th Street and 17th Avenue. Why couches? One fan said it's probably good for the environment. He added that many participants kept shouting, YOLO. You only live once. And then you die while trying to light a couch on fire to celebrate a Super Bowl. Reason number 7 to not watch the Super Bowl was the Puppy Bowl and the Kitten Bowl and the Fish Bowl. If you had watched one of those, you would have lapsed into cuteness overload about 35 minutes in. But interestingly, in the Kitten Bowl, the North Shore Bengals won 43-8 over the Denver Broncos. And they scratched up Peyton Manning so badly he had to be hospitalized. Reason 8 was the Benedict Cumberbatch factor. Counter-programming by the other TV networks, especially PBS. Well, Cumberbatch's Sherlock episode was terrific. Downton Abbey. Sadly, the plot focused on whether or not the gardener stole the expensive knife and if the Crawleys are now going to go into pig farming. And that was still more interesting than Super Bowl 48. Reason number 9 was the fact that there are more American TV households not watching than watching by about 53% to 47%. That'll still be true despite Nielsen's claim that viewership jumped to a record 111.5 million. Because according to research by the Board of Irresponsible People, 23.2 million of those slipped into comas at 36-0, and only 4 of them came to in time to change channels. And the 10th and last reason was watch ESPN instead, especially the 30 for 30 short on the Hannes Wagner baseball card, the one I was in. That was about the greatest thing ever, only it turned out to have been retouched and overpriced and overrated. And now the principal guy in the thing is humiliated and his reputation is destroyed. Which, more or less, was also the plot of Super Bowl 48. I'm not going to say I told you so. And when I say I'm not, of course I mean I am. I told you so!